Hello everybody! Right, take 9 million. We're going to talk about progressing from the strict pull-up to the kipping pull-up. Now, this is with the assumption that you've got 8 strict pull-ups in your locker and also a 15-second single arm hang with the shoulder pulled down and engaged and the body's not spinning. If you can do 15 seconds each arm and 8 strict pull-ups, that's saying you have enough prerequisite strength to go and do effective kipping pull-ups without your arms falling off or breaking or both. So we've got here step A, step B, step C, D and finally E, so this can literally take you right through the levels. It's almost, if you will, a video plan of how to get kipping pull-ups. This is not online training. I'm not going to coach you after this video unless you pay me every bit of money in the world. There's no additional information to go with it. What there will be is videos breaking down the movements in A, B, C, D and E in more detail because each one of those can be quite lengthy. So let's just assume you've got prerequisite in the bag. Part A is what we need. Now you don't actually need the prerequisites to do part A and part B, so you can work on part A and part B whilst developing your strict pull-up as well. But anyway, part A, we need you to be able to hold an arch position and a hollow position from the floor and the rig. Same amount of time as the prerequisite with the single arm, 15 seconds, but we want to do these for 7 sets. Whatever order you do, I don't care, no one minds, you just have to be able to do the work. Or you have to just do the work. Now the hollow position, 15 seconds in here, 7 sets. Belly button drawn in, rib cage down, arse cheeks clenched, thighs nice and tight, pointy toes, arms go overhead. Because guess what, when you're hanging off the rig, your arms are overhead. Want those things to happen on the floor. So your lower back is pressed in against the floor nice and tight. There is there's no gap under your back. If there's a big gap under there, you can get fingers in both sides and touch your fingers. So what we're looking for, what did we speak about? Belly button drawn in, the rib cage down. Already I start to kind of lift my shoulders off the floor a little bit by doing that. So can I bring my knees in towards my chest? And now push my lower back actively into the floor. Imagine I'm just trying to roll out my lower back against the floor. As I let go, ding, you can feel all that tension now through the midline. There it is, all the abs in the world. I need to maintain this position of the lower back pushing into the floor as I kick out my arms and legs, squeeze my butt cheeks nice and tight, and hold for 15 seconds. That there is the hollow body hold. We'll have that on the rig as part of the kipping pull-up. The arch position. Let's talk about this in a little more detail. We want to keep that tension we've created in the hollow. Draw it in, squeeze it tight, and keep squeezing it tight as you actively move your body into the arch position. So that might sound a bit weird because of things like reciprocal inhibition that we'll talk about another day. But if you imagine, I've done a big bicep curl, and someone's trying to pull my arm this way, and in fact they can because they're stronger than me. I'm trying to resist it, which means the muscle's still working, there's still tension in the muscle, but my arm's actually moving away from where it was. Same thing. Hollow position, lots of tension in the muscle, and I'm now actively moving it the other way, but carrying on to squeeze tight. So still tension, but I'm moving the opposite direction. So that's face down on the floor. Squeeze your arse cheeks. There's a theme here. Feet together, thighs together. Squeeze your thighs nice and tight, as in clench them up, get some quads. Eyes down, shoulders back. And hands out in front. 7 sets, 15 seconds, feet together. Very important. Keep everything squeezed in together, you create more tension. Your body also travels faster which is exactly what we need, a bit of speed as we're transitioning kipping pull-ups. Can you take those two positions? Here's me laying on the floor in a hollow. Can I bend that up? I'm on my back, I'm in hollow. I'm going to pick myself up and hang myself off the rig. Same with the arch. So if I'm in a hollow or an arch on the floor, someone can pick me up, hang my hands over, and that's what I need to do on the rig. So it look a little bit like this. Hollow. This is me being lazy. Can I now squeeze my feet together, squeeze my thighs together, butt cheeks, pointy toes, rib cage down, and my shoulders now need to play part of this game. Shoulders down and away from the ears. And my body will go from this lazy position into this hollow position. 15-second hold, 7 sets. Exactly the same thing with the arch. It's much harder. It won't be as exaggerated or as obvious. But we're going to see if we can do it nonetheless. So here's my lazy position. Lazy as they come. I'm going to squeeze everything into my hollow. The opposite to that is me moving into the arch, but still keeping that belly button drawn in and trying to keep the rib cage down, despite the fact I'm moving into the arch. 15 seconds in the arch, 7 sets. That will cover part A. All going well. Once you've got 15 seconds in all of those places for 7 sets, we go on to part B, which now starts to move between those two positions. It's a beat swing, it's called, and we're going to bias that movement from the shoulders rather than from kicking the legs and swinging through the hips. I want it to happen from the shoulders. So we know what arch and hollow looks like. Imagine this is the rig I'm hanging on to. We know that this looks like the hollow. And we know that this is the arch. What we want to do is make that happen by pressing through the shoulders. We're going to press the bar forwards into the hollow and then pull the bar backwards into the arch. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. And that will start us with a little beat swing. All the time we're doing that, feet together, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the butt cheek, rib cage down, keep tension in the midline, shoulders out of our ears. There should be tension on the bar or pressure on the bar in one direction or the other at all times. You're never just hanging. So it should look a little bit like this. From arch to hollow, through the shoulders. Ta-da! Hope you can see that. What we're looking for that part B is if you're at that level, doesn't mean you get to skip part A. As part of your session, you'll do part A, but you'll do less of it, and then you move on to part B. Part B, you're looking to do 3 sets of 8 to 12 of those beat swings. So say for example, every time you move forwards, that's 1, that's 2. So second part of that workout, you do A and then B. A isn't 7 sets anymore, it's 4, and it's only 10 seconds, not 15. If that's all good, we go on to the Kip swing in part C. I won't talk about how many steps and reps and seconds for every single part of this. I'll just put that somewhere else so you can see it. Put it in the bio, that's where I'll put it. But part C is developing the Kip swing from the beat swing. So that is snapping our body from the arch position, aggressively into the hollow, with a big bias in the straight arm pressed down on the bar. So straight arms, push the bar down towards your knees or your feet, wherever you want to push them. The bar. And we do it aggressively at the same time as we aggressively snap from arch to hollow. Now that's not just kicks of the legs. It needs to happen from the midline, from the hips, if you will. Pelvis, midline. So a little example of that is here's my bar or my rig that I will hang on. Excuse me. It's not perfect, but we'll get there. Here's my hollow position. We've been there before. And if I do my arch position this way up, I'm going to look like this. If I snap into that position slowly, well, A, it's not a snap, but I've not really created much momentum, although I've demonstrated control. What we're trying to do is use our bodies, use our tension to generate momentum, elasticity, if you will. So if I do it quickly and aggressively, I go like this. In from the arch, into the hollow, and that little snap will give me momentum on the bar. What I'm looking to do, why I want momentum, is because I need to take my body from underneath the bar, where if I was to do a pull-up, it's a strict pull-up, it's quite difficult. Whereas if I go behind the bar, it's no longer a pull up, it's more like a pull in, which is more similar to a ring row. And we know that they're easier. We've given our body an advantage if we change position from being under the rig to out and behind the rig. So let's develop that kip swing then and give you a demo of what it might look like. Here's the beat swing. It's only from my shoulders. If I start to snap aggressively, you'll see I'm moving much further out and behind the rig. That breath. Again, very, very important, as you're snapping into that hollow, that you've got a straight arm press, quite a big, strong, aggressive press out on the bar. Very, very important, as you return from your hollow, going into your arch, the moment you finish pushing the bar down, you should instantly start pulling the bar back and overhead. You're either pushing or pulling the bar. There is no hanging. Really struggling for it. So that's part C. I'll give you the numbers in the bio. If that's successful, we're going on to part D, where it's actually a kipping pull-up. So we've moved your body so far out and around and behind the bar from your kip swing that now we're actually going to pull in and pull your chin up and above the bar. Now it's not that simple. Once you're up there, we're going to hold position. Let the body recognise that position, let the body absorb it, become strong in that position, and also we want to slow the movement down. And what better way to slow it down than to stop? Because the next bit is a little bit complex. It doesn't sound it, but to get your head around doing it, it's a good place to start from a static position. So we've got your chin above the bar, we're holding. Next thing we want to do is imagine that you're pushing the bar away. You're actually going to push it this way. Think about a bench press. You're going to push the bar away, and your body will come away from the bar and start that cycle in the opposite direction. So here's my boxing help. I'm hanging off in my hollow position. I move myself into the arch. I snap aggressively into the hollow. That takes my body behind the bar. And now get my chin above the bar to hold. Still hollow, feet together, butt cheeks tight, thighs squeezing, pointing toes. And I'm going to push the bar away like a bench press. As I push the bar away, you see my body comes out away from the bar. Still lots and lots of tension, still engaged. And I start to come through, and I'm pulling the bar overhead into my arch. That's it, you haven't got to then rebound back up to another one. We're just going to jump off, think about what we did, think about how it felt, recognise it, shake your hands, go to the toilet, have a cup of tea, come back and see if we can have another go. It's the aggressive kip, chin above and holding at the bar, and then a press away. If you feel like, as you return, that you're engaged with the bar enough, you move into your arch, that you can actually start your next big kip and go up for a second rep, go for it. But don't let that be the objective as you start that movement. One rep is the objective. Get as much feedback from it as you can, get as much quality out of that one rep as you can, get as much tightness from that one rep as you can, and then if the second one is doable, we'll go for the second one. Looks a bit like this. Hold. Push away and stay tight. I think that was part D. 1 rep, 2 rep, definitely not more than 3. If you've got more than 3, we are ready. We are ready for the final part. And that is taking that kipping pull-up, getting rid of the hold. We get rid of the hold, we're just now going to start kipping pull-ups. And we're going to do an EMOM. So every minute, on the minute, for 6 minutes, we're going to do 50% of your max number of reps. So yes, in order to do this, you need to establish what your max number of kipping pull-ups is. And that's a separate test that you can do when you're fresh, not at the end of a session if you've literally just progressed to holding and pushing away. You need to know that you can do kipping pull-ups before we start the EMOM in part E. And we're going to do that fresh. So, whole new session, it's another day. As many kipping pull-ups as you can do, have the largest rest you've ever had, maybe even a couple of days off, and when you come back in, take 50% of that number. Say I manage 10, 50% of that number, half that number is 5. I'm going to do 5 pull-ups every minute, on the minute, for 6 minutes. There's no holding at the top anymore. I'm going to try and string my reps together. That's it. Hope that had some value. Sorry it's 17 minutes long. I'll put the numbers in the bio or somewhere, and then maybe another time if we need to break those movements down into more detail, then we can. Till then, have fun with your pull-ups.